everybody. So, I thought I'd take a little bit of a different approach than the world's falling apart today because, I don't know, you read the news yourself. We'll go with a little bit of interesting history here. Alright, I gotta go around these guys though, I really do. I'm missing the lights. Okay, so the history is I sent my daughter a thing on Instagram that was talking about how Jackson Pollock is bullshit. It just said that Jackson Pollock was propped up by the CIA, and that any art teacher who says you don't get it is an idiot, right? Now that was interesting to me, so naturally I'd have to dig into the rabbit hole, which I did, and turns out it's true. Although I don't think all of it's true, and I'll get to that in a second. So the interesting thing is that the CIA actually admitted, or older agents admitted, that they did do things like buy paintings and encourage art of that era. So let's dig into this. The story basically says, and this is by The Independent, by the way, so it's not like some just conspiracy theorist. This is, journalism. Let's hope. But basically the essence is that the CIA was staffed, and as a, let's just say, newly created agency in the World War II post-era, they were staffed by liberal, not in today's definition of liberal, but, kind of like intelligent and art/forward-thinking people, younger people, of course, right? To not only just become, like, for example, the CIA, but to help with Americanism, capitalism, arts. And one of the things that they realized was that art takes an enormous amount of patronage. So they started pushing artistic agendas 2 or 3 times removed, is what specifically they said. Right, because as an official government arm, they couldn't be seen, and this is why conspiracy theorists exist, people. They couldn't be seen promoting things that went against the president's or the government's official position, right? So the government and the government officials, the president said that if that's art, then I'm a Hottentot. Which, what the fuck is a Hottentot now? That's such an old statement, but also in the same sense that, like, they didn't appreciate the art that was being pushed, so the CIA had to, in secret, promote openness. But the problem is, or the good thing is that it worked. American jazz, American artwork, American values were pushed abroad, and people loved it. You have to think about the 50s and the 60s were a time of growing cultural openness, right? Free love, everybody. These people were part of that, and that's what they pushed, and that's what the agenda that they created, so to speak, by becoming basically a patron of the arts. That's such an interesting bit of history to me. Our own government, basically, in secret, became one of the largest patrons of the arts, pushing that openness. And here's the thing, right? I don't care if you say Jackson Pollock's artwork sucks or not. What I think it does is I think it takes risks. It's the ability, this is what art is, the ability to express oneself and be open and truly find oneself. This is what they're afraid of in some ways. By they, I mean the system. Because obviously they want to control, they want to enslave, they want to make things right. Yeah, I mean, obviously. But openness doesn't necessarily mean more crime and everything. It just means you're in touch with yourself and less willing to listen to authoritarian regimes. So, I mean, look at McCarthyism, right? That came about. You'd think that our current era couldn't be worse than McCarthyism, but if you look at what's happening, it's obviously a giant problem. And what happened, probably, in my opinion, unless it's still going on, I mean, I don't know what's happening at the CIA, but to me, seems like they've become the thing that they've hated or did not want to be, right? all those older agents that were willing to push the openness and the propaganda. I mean, maybe when the war was won, they were like, okay, war's won. Now we need to revert back to the controls apparatus. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, having a worthy adversary definitely brings out the best in you, right? That's kind of like that character building thing. When you have somebody who pushes you, you get better. You don't challenge yourself until somebody challenges you in that sense. So, I mean, maybe China will push us to becoming better ourselves. But at the same time, they admitted that becoming a patronage of the arts requires a huge amount of resources, similar to, like, say, Renaissance eras of old, right? The Pope and governments were basically the true patronage of the art back then, right? Like, think about Raphael and Leonardo and Michelangelo and Donatello. Sorry, couldn't help that one. And how they basically were funded by the rich people. But in essence, the amount of works that they created were such masterpieces that, 400 years later, we're still in awe of the human talent. It's kind of... I don't know how I feel about that aspect either, because it's like, we need art. Art is truly what makes us human. Math and science helps us live, but art is what transcends our souls. AI is not going to create art that transcends our soul. And at this point in our lives, I'm not sure what can qualify as a true art movement in that sense, because if you look at paintings anymore and you go, that's not art, I can do that, my teenage son can do that, then it's obviously not something that speaks to you or moves you, right? But what truly speaks to you and moves you? This is the point of being open and knowing yourself, or at least willing to let yourself fall into realms you've never been before. I think being unguarded and realizing that you could like something, right? It's a scary feeling in a way. Like, I don't know. Nobody wants to admit that they don't know, especially over themselves. I don't know myself. And so reaching out and going, I kind of like this. It's wild. It's a crazy thing. It bothers a lot of people to their very core. Look at how we treat people who are on the fringes of society right now, right? I mean, it used to be like gay people. It used to be, black people, people of color, things that weren't, let's just say, socially acceptable, right? Now look, we've come a long way. I'm not saying we're there yet. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we've even we've taken baby steps though. I mean, I feel like now we're way more accepting of gay people, and now it's like maybe trannies that we're working on, right? But I'm comfortable with myself. I have no problem with them. In the same respect that I have no problem with, a lot of those other issues. It's like, look, you do you. You be you. You be the best you can be. And if that means you like fucking pink and rainbows, man, go for it. Go for it. And nobody should be telling other people what to like on either side, right? On either side. And this is not a both sides argument, because we know that those people get, marginalized in a lot of ways. But it's like, look, you do you, man. I may not understand it. I may not like it, but you do you. Be open. Be free. Be as freaky as you like. Do what you want to do. That's what I appreciate, right? That is kind of an artistic expression, an artistic movement in a way. And are we going to get that back? I don't know. I don't quite know. I don't know what their plan is right now. I mean, if you think about the fact that the CIA was doing that 60, 70 years ago, what are they doing now? What are they doing now? I mean, all the secrets. This is the wonderful thing about history, is all the secrets that have fueled. I mean, like, that would have been a conspiracy theory 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It would have been like, and somebody would look at you like you're crazy, and now it's like, hey, that's true. Just like a lot of things that are conspiracy theories and become true. Oh, it was a lab leak. it's fueled this crazy sort of point the fingers, everybody's terrible discourse that we're in right now. And then you go fake news, right? Maybe that is truly the CIA's plan. I don't know if anybody's ever thought of that, but if that's the case, then what's their end goal? Crash the system? Maybe the end goal is they actually support Trump in order to crash the system. And then you go, yeah, well, that's what they're saying with Project 2025, right? And you go, okay, cool, but maybe they're not trying to crash the system for the worse, but for the better. That's naive. That's naive. I think the small mind games that the people with power are playing are not capable enough to see that. I mean, that's definitely a pie in the sky conspiracy theory where they're going to crash the world for the better. I don't know. If you look at anybody who's done that, like they're going to make it worse. I still can't. Even with this wonderful theory of openness and art and conspiracy and all this stuff like that, I just can't look at Trump and go, yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And that's still where I stand on this side of the fence. Are there conspiracy theories afoot? Of course there motherfucking are. There wouldn't be. And of course the fucking propaganda arm of our government is probably in the thick of it somehow. But the good thing is that most of them don't seem very competent or capable of pulling off a lot of shit. So, you know, we are where we are. Anyway, and getting back to Jackson Pollock himself, you know, again, that's that part of open, right? Like it, love it, hate it, I don't care. Just, you know, again, it's art for art's sake, and I'm glad somebody supported it. I'm glad it was supported. That's what I have to say. I don't like it, but I'm glad somebody fucking supported that. And that's how you should be too. Alright, I'm done talking.